Judgment time.
You're welcome, I guess.
Members of the jury.
Yeah.
I really don't see what all the fuss is about.
Oh my God, the Scoleri brothers!
In favor of conviction.
You, Mr. Stark. You, buddy.
I am the law!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Geek Court. Today we will be putting 3 topics on trial. Case 1, Steven, who should be the villain in the Obi-Wan film? Case 2, what film should be turned into a video game? And Case 3, did the defenders live up to all the hype? Today we are, the topics will be debated and fought over by our 2 defendants, Anthony and Spoiler Steve, as well as juried over by 3 of their peers, Gabe, Kelsey, and John. We also have Aaron Claude Miller here as our bailiff. My name is Judge Wingate, but the jury will decide the final verdict. But should the jury be split, my vote counts for 1/3 of the final verdict. The defendants will be judged based on who made the best case and not personal bias. We will start with 3 cases, each worth 1 point. Let us begin our first case. Stephen Daldry reportedly developing a Star Wars spinoff about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who should be the villain in the Obi-Wan film? Anthony?
I myself would like to plead the case for Galen Merrick, or Starkiller. He's from the Force Unleashed games. He's been removed from continuity, so I think he's perfect to add back into the continuity for a beloved character that people did like, but because he's been separate from the continuity, you can tweak him to fit the current universe without too much work. So I'm rooting for him. I think retreading past villains that we've already seen is a huge mistake and could stale the film. That's it.
Thank you so much for your opening statements. Steve, you also have 30 seconds.
Yeah, I feel that because we're going to be getting an Obi-Wan movie, just like another like Han Solo, keeping it within like the stories that we already know, I think we should keep it with the villains that we kind of have an understanding of who they are already. Something like how we had Darth Vader within Rogue One, I think it'd be interesting. Since we are doing Obi-Wan, I'm guessing we're going to be doing this around A New Hope. I'm guessing it'll be taking place on Tatooine. I think we should have something like Boba Fett show up and try to make some type of battle between the two. I do not know.
All right, Steve. Wonderful opening statement, but let's give Anthony a chance for his 1-minute rebuttal.
Well, I think that Boba Fett's going to have his own franchise soon, and seeing him too much risks oversaturation. Plus, since we know that Obi-Wan Kenobi has to live, we also know that Boba Fett has to live at the end of this. It kind of lessens the stakes in both films, and you're going to have to think of a reason for Boba Fett to lose to Obi-Wan, thus weakening him before his own franchise. I think a fresh start of an already beloved and known character really will serve the film best, and it'll help to tell a story we've never seen. Obi-Wan against a young, very indoctrinated but still questioning junior Sith Lord almost. Plus, the actor who played him is still relatively young and a little well known thanks to being human, and you could definitely access him and have him in the movie. So I think he'd be the best choice over Boba Fett, who's about to get his own movie franchise, and you really risk oversaturation of that character, who's already very saturated within the Star Wars universe. That is my rebuttal.
Thank you. And now we have a 1-minute rebuttal from Steve.
We don't have confirmation that Boba Fett is going to be getting a trilogy. For the longest time, we were waiting for confirmation if Obi-Wan was even going to get his own movie, let alone the rumors that he might be getting his own trilogy as well. I feel that if we're getting an Obi-Wan movie, if we're not going to be focusing on just Obi-Wan, I think we'd want more information on someone like Boba Fett. Someone like Starkiller, I don't know who that is. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are not playing the video games have no idea who Starkiller is. So we'd have to use half the movie to get his background story and actually have to understand who Starkiller is when we're trying to focus on Obi-Wan. If we all know who Boba Fett is, we throw in a couple more Easter eggs, a couple more history things about him to make things interesting on Boba Fett's side, but we're focusing on Obi-Wan. We're not focusing on this new villain that's basically new to the franchise in general because nobody knows what it is, who Starkiller is, if you haven't played the video game. Like you said, he was taken out of canon. Nobody knows who that is. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult trying to even market the movie. They want to make money off of this. People love Boba Fett. They've been loving him for 30 years, 50 years, 40 years.
Thank you, Steve. Boba Fett is not on trial here. We all love him. Now, you have 30 seconds for your closing arguments, Anthony.
Well, I'm sorry, Star Wars fans. I know that you guys probably do know who Galen Merrick is, Starkiller, which is why they've made multiple references to him in the movies already. Nor did I ever say Boba Fett was getting a trilogy. I do agree that people do love Star Wars and they want to make money. The Star Wars name alone and Obi-Wan Kenobi is enough marketing capital to market your movie. We don't need to waste the beloved fan capital of Boba Fett on marketing not his own movie. I think bringing this character in, putting him back into canon, is the best choice for this movie to let Obi-Wan shine.
Thank you so much. And spoiler, Steve, will you close us out on this subject?
I think Star Wars is trying to play it safe, especially after everything that went wrong with the Han Solo movie, the fact that they had to fire their director and bring in someone else to fix it. They don't want to deal with that again when they get into this Obi-Wan movie.
It's a very short closing argument. You sound very sure of yourselves. Bailiff, do we have any facts that you found for us?
Yeah, I just wanted to read a quick thing about who Starkiller is. So, Starkiller is a character named Galen Merrick, which we've heard before. His biography is that he was taken from Kashyyyk in year 18 BBY. I don't know what that is, but by Darth Vader
Before Battle of Yavin.
Okay, before Battle of Yavin. You're a real fan over there. Darth Vader trained him to be his apprentice and gave him the codename Starkiller with the intention of overthrowing Emperor Palpatine. Also, I believe Starkiller was supposed to be Luke Skywalker's original last name. That's all I got for you.
Well, thank you very much. That was very informative. Jurors, have you come to a decision?
We are split 2-1.
You are?
Yes.
Which direction are you leaning towards and why?
Leaning towards more Steve, apparently. I'm leaning towards more Anthony's.
And what reasons behind this?
Because for Boba Fett to be any kind of a villain, somebody has to hire him out. He doesn't go looking for people. Starkiller is so powerful, he can sense where Obi-Wan is.
Well, as the judge, I'm going to go with the more articulate of the two arguments. Anthony wins. Case 2. Andy Serkis is helping develop a Planet of the Apes video game. What film should be turned into a video game? Defendant 1, can I hear your opening argument? Or your opening statement?
Me? Yes. I think a great film that recently came out to turn into a video game would be Kong Skull Island. That movie gave us a very good peek at the flora and fauna of that island without actually exploring too much, and we could easily have a game set after the most recent movie with Monarch coming back to try to explore the other creatures, life, plant life, society, tribe on that island. I easily think we could use the Cry engine right there, which would be great. We've already seen it does great animations with flora and fauna.
Now you're cutting into spoilers. Steve's time.
I
Anthony,
apologize,
don't be
Steve.
petty.
I apologize.
Let's hear from you, Steve.
Okay, hypothetically, imagine Edgar Wright came out and said that there were 2 great driving scenes from Baby Driver he was not able to film because of budget reasons, but he's actually able to make it into a video game. So you're actually able to replay the movie Baby Driver with 2 new scenes that weren't able to make it into the movie. On top of that, you get your own type of choices of how the movie can end. If you want to make different decisions, you can. It's almost like a Telltale game / Grand Theft Auto 5 story mode sort of thing where you can make decisions as well as learn more of what Edgar Wright wanted to do.
It's good to see that you already have a plan for this. Anthony, back to you. You have 1 minute for your rebuttal.
Well, I'd like to start off by saying Baby Driver is a great film, and I myself think Edgar Wright did a good enough job. I don't need to alter it and decide how it's going to go. He did a great job of crafting that story for me. I would also like to point out that we basically kind of already have a game that's sort of like what Baby Driver would probably be. It's called Sleeping Dogs. Very underrated game. Kind of the same kind of plot, except it takes place in China. Emma Stone's in it for some reason. Who knows why. I think that a continuation of a story versus altering the fantastic movie of Skull Island would be a better use of our time, and I think it would be a better use of video game companies' time to really invest in this possible story-exploring franchise. Think Far Cry / Shadow of the Colossus combined with a little bit of Tomb Raiding thrown in just for fun. Plus, you could help connect it to the upcoming Godzilla King Kong crossover.
Thank you so much. Perfect timing. Steve, let's hear your 1 minute rebuttal.
this is about marketing and trying to get more people in to buy what they want to do. I'm not really sure what we're trying to do with this King Kong movie or this game. Are we being Kong? Are we being the soldiers? Do we get a choice out of it? With Baby Driver, you're able to choose which player you want to be. Do you want to be Baby? Do you want to be any of the other characters? I forget their names already. Wow. Spotlights. But this is something where you don't need to, like, it's more for fun. It's more for a nostalgic purpose, for reliving something, to actually do it yourself. And I just feel like with my case, you're able to actually know what you're buying. I'm not really sure what I'm getting with this Kong game.
Thank you so much. 30 seconds for your closing argument, Anthony.
I would first like to apologize to the court. I thought I had made my point clear enough that you'd be Monarch agents. When I said the Monarch would come back exploring the island, that's what I meant. I apparently, according to Stev, did not make that point clear enough. I think that Baby Driver is fine as a movie. Not all movies need to be turned into video games, and I think Baby Driver is best left in the pantheon of the silver screen. Thank you. I rest my case.
Now it is your turn, Steve. Bring it home.
This argument is to see what movie should be turned into a video game. You just said we're not trying to see what movie should be turned. Did I hear that wrong? I thought like that's what this argument was, to see what movie would be good to be turned into a video game.
And I disagree with your movie choice.
Okay.
Just seems like cross chatter over here, not having a closing argument there, Steve.
I'm right, he's wrong.
Bailiff, do you have any facts to check off this argument?
Well, I just looked this up, and both directors for Kong, Skull Island, and obviously Edgar Wright for Baby Driver have utilized a lot of video game references. Inside of Skull Island, there were helmets based off of the Mega Man helmet and what would be a Gundam Wing helmet. There's a couple of video game references directly in the film, so that's pretty cool. And then Edgar Wright obviously worked on Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which is rife with video game references. So I think both directors could do something interesting with a video game. That's all.
And to you, jurors?
We, the jury, are split 2-1. We are 2 for Anthony, 1 for Steve. We chose Anthony because of the name drop Godzilla.
Well, since the judge doesn't give a crap about Godzilla, I give the point to Steve. Because I did enjoy that he brought up that there were scenes that had been cut out of the movie that could be made into video game scenes. I apologize. I also am not a fan of King Kong.
All right.
Case 3. Now this, we have a spoiler warning for us. So everyone watching this live right now, before we begin, we'd like to give everyone watching a quick spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't watched The Defenders yet. If you're watching us on YouTube and don't want to hear any possible spoilers, you can look in the description below and click on the next topic. Or, if you're watching us live right now, you can mute the stream until you see the next topic at the bottom of your screen. You have been warned. Netflix show The Defenders debuted and has been Netflix show debuted this weekend. All the shows have been building up to this one, The Defenders. Did The Defenders live up to the hype? Defendant 1. Defendant 2. Steve, which subject would you like to choose?
I'm going with The Defenders did not hold up or deliver as what we were promised. I feel that again, this is full spoilers, so the fact that we had to wait it did not live up to it. Iron Fist is still not that great. Mike Coulter is not good at acting, and it felt like they took maybe 6 months to think of the story when they had years to do it.
Is that the end of your
For my opening statement, yes.
Anthony?
I'm actually arguing that Defenders did indeed deliver. I think the show does, as Marissa Tomei would say, hold water. I think the show built up, and not only did it pay off what it was building up, but it left the characters in a good place for their next season. Jessica Jones in particular, while they did not do too much with her, she also has one of the most recent seasons coming up. And so it left her in a great place to deal with what she's going to be now that she's had to work for a team. I think the show delivered on multiple fronts, and I think it was a very multi-leveled type of show.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
You're
Steve,
welcome.
you have a 1-minute rebuttal.
Okay, so start off, like I said earlier, it took us about 3 episodes to even get to the Defenders. I'm not really sure why we had to follow each storyline to understand that this is why they're finding the hand, but I don't know why it took 3 episodes to do it. They could have done it in maybe 1 or 2, and then by the time we actually did get them together, they fought for maybe 1 episode together, and then they started to split up. And because Iron Fist, his fight choreography did get a little better, still not that great, since he wasn't good at what he was doing, they threw him in a little like dungeon down underground into this big plot hole, or this real hole that we were waiting for in Daredevil to find out what it is. And it turns out it's some mystical little vault thing or whatever, but you can't even tell what's in it because it's so dark. You can barely see Danny Rand in there. Elektra automatically out of nowhere just decides to flip the switch and kill Alexandra just because she couldn't remember Daredevil's name, Matthew, and everything like that. Everything went by too quick. All of a sudden, it was over.
1 minute of full spoilers. Now it's time for Anthony.
I actually thought the show was very well paced. It actually made the case for why I think Netflix shows should be shortened from 13 to 8 episodes. Everything clipped along very nicely, and the characters came together in a more organic fashion. I will take umbrage with your assertion that Elektra flipped the switch all of a sudden. They have been showing it throughout the show, with her not killing Matt, with her breaking into his apartment, laying in his bed, with her dreaming about times they had before she was Elektra, that clearly she was turning a corner. So when she killed Alexandra, it felt like this was about time. I also think you completely railroaded the fact that Jessica Jones had a lot of great development of learning how to want to be with other people in this show, and learning that it's not just her. It's about other people and the world she exists in with them.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Now it's time for closing arguments. 30 seconds, Steve?
Yeah, the reason I didn't really bring up Jessica Jones was because she was one of the best parts of the show. There's nothing really negative to say about it. You're right, I am excited to see what happens next with Jessica Jones. The problem is that everything else that was handled a little poorly or too lazy. It was just trying to figure out how to get them all together, and then now they're together. Let's figure out a way to make them all hate Iron Fist. Let's get Iron Fist out of the main fight because he's not good at what he does. We'll try and make sure Mike Kohler doesn't act that much, and then we'll leave Daredevil in the same place that we wanted to do with him finding out who his mother is.
Thank you very much. Perfect timing. Let's see how Anthony can close us up.
I'd like to first point out they did not all hate Danny. They wanted to protect Danny from himself in his mission to go stop this and possibly get captured. I'm assuming you didn't watch the show fully with your eyes open. I would also like to not besmirch our nice, strong black actor, Mike Coulter. Did a great job, looked great, physicality was great, acted like a good, righteous young man in a terrible situation, and why, quite frankly, applaud the whole show.
Alright, Mike Coulter's acting is not on trial here, or else I would not be able to be an unbiased judge. Now, Bailiff, do you have any facts to give us?
Yeah, first I'd just like to say, currently The Defenders is at a 75% on Rotten with critics and 84% with audiences, so I mean that just gives a little flair there and a little feeling for the audience. And just for Steve's point, they started writing the Defenders series in May of 2016, so they had a pretty long time. But you know, just to say, because you said they felt rushed. So,
jurors, have you come to an answer?
Yes, we have. Our first unanimous decision. We are finding in favor of Steve. While Anthony did make great points on Jessica Jones' character development and a good counterpoint about Elektra, ultimately Steve, we felt, made some good points about the length it took to develop and his examples of some of the issues he had with the production.
Thank you so much, jury. So before we start the speedsters section of our court cases, currently we have Steve with 2 points, Anthony with 1. But, of course, Anthony has a chance to come up soon. We are now moving into the speedster round. Each case will be worth 1 point. Defendants will blindly defend 3 cases. Their stance on each case will be randomly drawn from the sorting hat. Bailiff?
That's why I said you're very good.
So case number 1, what cinematic universe would you rather live in? As Anthony is behind, you can go first. What did you draw?
I drew the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
All right, you have 20 seconds for your opening statement.
I would most like to live in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because Spider-Man. That's really it. You could run into him in the wilds of New York. You could have fun with him, and you know what? Every universe you're going to be in, you risk dying. I may as well risk dying having met Spider-Man.
Under time? Still a good point. Defendant 2, Steve, what is your reasoning?
I got the DCEU, the extended universe. Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad. It would be amazing. You get to see the Joker driving around crazy all the time in his Ferrari. You get Harley Quinn jumping out of helicopters and everything else. You're just basically able to see all your heroes in real life.
Your 20 seconds are up, and I would like to bring up that you only reference things from... So now Anthony gets a 10-second final rebuttal, and I might give you your rebuttal. We haven't decided.
I myself don't want to live in this grim, dark, depressing universe where I'm pretty sure it's just an example of what Clark would do if he had the worst, absolute worst parents. I'll take my bright and sunny Marvel universe any day.
Thank you. And Steve?
Yeah, it sounds too boring over the MCU. Everything's always happy and fun. You need some grimace. You need to shake things up a little bit. Find your dark side.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Jurors? Oh, no, sorry. Bailiff, did you have any facts you'd like to bring up to us?
Just that I believe it's... Well, no, it's pronounced dark side. Never mind. I was just going to say that I think it's dark seed, but that's just how it's spelled. That's all.
As the judge, I would like to bring up the point that the Marvel Universe is dark as well. They hate everyone. Now, jurors?
We chose Anthony because, personally, I believe if you lived in the DC universe, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
Superman didn't save anyone.
Your own doing.
Unanimous.
So, Anthony 2, Steve 2, all tied up. Question 2. Which film would you rather Hollywood make a sequel to using the same cast? Since Anthony got to go first before, let's let Steve lead. He looks very excited about it.
Yeah, okay. Who doesn't want a sequel to the 2005 Elektra? I know I do. Jennifer Garner did an amazing job trying to find her inner self. I believe Stick was in that movie. I actually saw this movie in theaters. I don't remember anything about it. I just remember that she fought a lot of ninjas. You get Jennifer Garner again. Great. Yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer Garner. Anthony?
Everyone remembers the gem, Halle Berry's all-star performance in Catwoman. And really, why not revisit this? First of all, Halle Berry's turned in some great performances in recent criminal thrillers recently. And what is Sharon Stone really doing? She can come back. She could come back to life. And with today's climate about chemicals and natural skincare, Beetleine is prized for a comeback. Beetleine was the thing.
That was an actual... Bailiff, will you please check that? I want to make sure that's the right company, because he should be awarded extra points.
That was the makeup that she was making to turn people to stone was Beetleine. I totally watched it in theaters.
10-second rebuttal to Steve.
So Elektra 2 is going to be written and directed by Kevin Smith. Ben Affleck will be returning, and all I know is that it's going to be amazing with the tension between the two.
Movie sounds beautiful. Anthony, your 10-second rebuttal?
Alex Borstein has really hit her stride. You guys might remember her as the best friend. And we have no idea if those people are returning. Batfleck is too busy being Batman. He can't possibly return as Daredevil. So, nice try. Now I know that. I know that.
Bailiff?
So the makeup in Catwoman is called Beetleine. So I think you're right. Beetleine, like...
I know that.
Sharon Stone is doing some small independent movies, something called Running Wild, which is coming out this year, but yeah, she's not doing much. And Jennifer Garner is a Methodist now. She does Christian movies.
That makes sense. That does make a lot of sense now.
Have my jurors come to a conclusion?
We have, Your Honor. We are unanimous for Anthony and Catwoman. We can't stand to see Ben Affleck any more than we have to.
That was it. Okay.
I would like to say that the judge feels that Ben Affleck is a good actor. All right, he's not on trial in here. Okay?
Fargo was awesome.
Will Smith, Ben Affleck, everybody loves them. Case 3. What supporting character most deserves their own spin-off film? Since Steve went first last time, let's open with Anthony.
Open The Force Awakens, flashing too many scenes, and you hear traitor. Who doesn't want to explore this guy's life? Who doesn't want to see the fanatical devotion to the First Order this trooper has, that he's willing to, without a second, judge a traitor and go after him with abject anger? I'd want to see that movie. Think Taken, but with a stormtrooper. I'm all set.
Perfect timing. Steve?
So, picture before Suicide Squad.
Oh, no.
How did they capture Slipknot? Like, everybody wants to know, how did they get him? And I don't know about you, but that seems like an awesome storyline, to be going through America and be like, we're going to get you, Slipknot, we're going to get you. And he's like, no, you're not. But then they actually do have to, because he's in Suicide Squad. And I don't know about you, but that movie that you just spoke about is already a book. We already have the backstory of him and Finn.
Do not attack him. Anthony, continue with your 10-second rebuttal.
Spoiler alert, Slipknot's only power is tying ropes. That's how they caught him. And actually, thank you for bringing up the book, because often many books have been used as the foundation for movies, and I think this book is rife for translation onto the silver screen. I want to see Kill Bill with stormtroopers myself.
In closing,
Well, my rebuttal, Kill Bill Disney doesn't really mix, and usually if it's adapted into a book, it means they're not going to make it into a movie. And Slipknot, we get to finally figure out how they caught him. Who doesn't want to see that?
Bailiff, what facts do you have for me here?
So Slipknot, I'm going to read his powers and abilities, is a master of the use of ropes, including unbreakable ones, and a trained assassin, so you left that out. He created a chemical adhesive which that he then applies to his ropes, making them nearly indestructible. He uses ropes to strangle, grapple, and hold down his opponents. In addition to his ropes, Slipknot is an expert assassin, able to kill swiftly and silently. And then, just so you guys know, the trooper, his name is FN2199, aka TR8R. That's all I got.
It's like traitor.
Yeah.
See? Also has a good acronym in his name.
Man, I missed that, I'm not going to lie.
Down to my jurors, have we come to your final answer?
It's rough.
We have, Your Honor. We vote in favor of Anthony. Split decision 2-1. Split decision because although we would like to see how Slipknot does get captured, I like that. We like the comparisons of Finn as Liam Neeson in Taken, or as Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. Kind of a good comparison there.
I will say, as much as I would love to see a movie with Slipknot, with the soundtrack of Slipknot as they chase him through like Arkansas, I'm going to award the point to Anthony, as his argument was a little bit more cohesive and sane.
I felt the air rise up in me when you were speaking just now.
Oh,
I don't even know what that line's from. I'm assuming it's from his backstory.
from Slipknot song.
Their first release.
And that concludes today's proceedings. I'd like to thank our two defendants, Anthony and Steve. Anthony walking away with 4 points to Steve's 2. Would either of the defendants like to make some closing statements?
I was robbed. Like, I was framed. This is not right. No.
I am the law.
Okay.
I would just have to say thank you guys, and also I told him he was going to lose when I first saw him today.
I said the same thing.
Yes, but I was right.
Yeah, well.
I'd like to point out that he came dressed to impress in court today.
Yeah, he did. I did not get that memo.
Neither did I. I just chose
that got me again.
appropriate.
0.5 awarded to Anthony.
That's
Thank
not
you,
my
sir.
day.
And thank you, Full Moon Creative, for letting us shoot here today. Make sure to share, subscribe, and leave us a comment on who you think argued the best. I'm today's Geek Court Judge, Judge Wingate. Thank you for joining us. Court's adjourned.